What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28. We've retired Scott for the day. It's Northern Nerdcast. Brad, what's happening, buddy?
I'm out of banishment.
We banned Scott for the day.
Scott's banned. Sorry, Scott.
Dude, thanks for joining us today. We have a great show lined up where you can be joining us live right now over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at Inside the Game Official. I think for now we're working on some changes.
I think it just says ITG, but we'll see.
We'll see. We got some things in the works right now. But if you can't join us live, that means you can hit us up later. Inside the Game.ca, podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Brad, we have an announcement today. We are giving away 2 copies of Elden Ring for you to check out. All you have to do is go to our Twitter at the official ITG, hashtag Elden Ring, and tag a friend, and we'll announce the winners this coming weekend. Don't miss out. Everybody, if you haven't missed it already somehow, is talking about this game, so you might want to enter. So, yep. Follow us over on the official ITG, hashtag Elden Ring, and tag a friend. Pretty simple. Also coming up, April 2nd is just around the corner. It's the Covenant House Main Mission charity stream. Swing by. You can head over to mainmission.ca right now, where you can help support a great cause. Brad, for today's show, however, retailers reveal a June release date of God of War Ragnarok. What? We'll see what happens there. We could see an early 2023 release of PlayStation VR 2, and Nintendo pulls Super Smash Bros. From the biggest fighting tournament circuit around. Dude, we've got a hot show, so let's get going. It is God of War Ragnarok, listed for June release by a retailer. This comes from the novicegamerguides.com. God of War Ragnarok was announced as one of the PS5 launch titles, alongside Horizon Forbidden West and Gran Turismo 7. While the game has now missed the launch window, it will see a release in 2022. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier recently suggested the game's release date is set for 2022. This brings us to the retailer Georges Digitals, which has a June release date for this one, for God of War Ragnarok. Brad, do you see it coming in June?
Well, this it's funny that you mentioned them, because they've broken, if you will, into correctly predicting quite a few games that have launched before any announcement. I think Horizon, not Forbidden West, but Zero Dawn was one of them that they had when it released, before it was announced. I mean, we already saw that PlayStation kind of spoiled it themselves by saying that it was coming 2022.
Yeah.
And then they had a title holder for September 30th, 2022, and now we're seeing June. I mean, it's possible. They want to make, like, I was talking with Nate, and he was saying, like, that doesn't really leave anything for Christmas, but I mean, this is Sony we're talking about. They just drop things without any hint of anything happening. So I mean, if it comes in June, that would be great, because then there goes my summer.
Well, that's just it, right? So we could be in for one heck of a summer if God of War Ragnarok drops in this time of what they're speculating right now will be June. It is a big step, I think, for PlayStation not to release this at the holiday season. That is like the most common time to release something, but there's a lot of competition around then too, right, Brad? So if you can get out ahead of the competition, maybe this is your chance. Go there for June. If you release or announce that you're coming for June, we've seen some of the biggest games already released this year. Man, we've had Sifu, we had Dying Light 2, we've had Horizon Forbidden West, my game of the year right now. Will God of War Ragnarok take that spot? We will find out if it comes out this year. Elden Ring is Scott's game of the year. It's Nate's game of the year. Dude, there's a high fidelity of competition right now going on in the world of video games. Do you want to hold back? Because you got to think now too. The Game Awards will be coming up in the fall or holiday season, right? Like they always do. Do you want to be up against not only Horizon Forbidden West, one of your own games, but do you want to be up against Elden Ring, which is getting 9s and 10s around the world? So it's getting dominated right now. It's probably, I'm gonna say it, dude, is probably gonna get more awards than Horizon Forbidden West, and I get
Guaranteed.
why, right? Absolutely. The minute that dropped, it was everybody's most anticipated game of the year, at least most people. If you're familiar with that genre and you love that genre, you're in for one heck of a game. There's a lot to discuss in that, and if we get to that topic today, we have more on that Elden Ring game as well. But we'll see about that one, Brad. But it kind of makes me a little nervous to say, maybe if on PlayStation we hold back. Maybe we wait for January. Let's polish the crap out of this game. Let's sit on it. And then that way we can get lined up for the bigger launch. But when you look at the lineup for PlayStation, what else do they really have coming in the pipeline this year? I think that's another thing to be concerned about, right? But next year, do we get into Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine? Probably not.
Possible. Maybe Spider-Man 2, but I think Wolverine's still a ways out.
Absolutely. I think Wolverine, we won't see for another 2 years, maybe 3. But Spider-Man 2, I think, has a strong possibility of launching next year. So if you launch God of War Ragnarok, dude, you're in for one heck of a competition, though, for Elden Ring. Can they take the spotlight away from Elden Ring? The thing against Elden Ring, Brad, is that they're out already, right? So over the course of the summer, over the course from now until whenever, you lose some of that mind share because you've launched so early within the year. And then you get to the Game of the Year awards and you go, okay, what did we play this year? And you kind of go backtrack and, oh yeah, I loved Elden Ring. But what's fresh on your mind tends to stick out more than what you played at the very beginning of the year.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's hard to say because one thing I find a lot of people are comparing Elden Ring to is like a harder version of Skyrim.
Sure.
You can sink a lot of hours into it. Apparently, there's going to be story DLC coming.
Wow.
Whereas Horizon and God of War, I don't like using the term, but I see it thrown around a lot as a one and done game. Like there's no like once you've beaten the game, like you'll get story content, but it doesn't really continue the story until I shouldn't say it doesn't, because look at Frozen Wilds, it continues the story, but there's one end game, whereas I don't see Elden Ring. I see just like sinking lots of hours into it and adding, like Skyrim added like the Dragonborn and all this stuff that added an additional 40 hours. But I honestly see God of War coming in the summertime, and the reason is there is a AAA title coming out very soon. We're gonna see it. It's guaranteed. Hassan said it. We're going to see Abandoned in the fall.
Well, so there we go. Let's get away for that.
No, we're not. We're never going to see that. But I honestly think if it comes out in the summertime, it's going to be it'll be huge. Like in order for it to dethrone Elden Ring, they're going to have to hit every single node perfectly. Yeah. Like you said, with the Game Awards coming up, maybe Sony saw what happened, and Halo is a great game, but Halo came out a week before the Video Game Awards. Maybe they want to be considered just to be nominated this year with all the stuff that happened with Activision being purchased and all that. I mean, Sony wants to stay in the limelight somehow. Yeah. So if they can drop God of War in the summertime, then it'll be on people's mind for a little bit anyways, especially if it makes the way over to PC like the first one did.
No, absolutely. I don't know if it's going to be lined up day and date. We're going to have it on PlayStation 4, PS5, but moving on to the PC is something I know PlayStation now is really gearing towards, and being a part of that Steam community is a huge get for them, and something that they should definitely be looking towards being integrated in with all those PC gamers, because it's such a huge audience. You don't want to miss out, and that's what Xbox has been capitalizing on for so long now, knowing that we got to be a part of that PC world. So PlayStation will be there eventually. Like, we still don't have Horizon Forbidden West on PC, so it's kind of one of those things. And then they have the whole Spartacus situation going on, but we really don't know 100% of what it is exactly. And we've heard tiers are going to be there, but they're not going to have full games.
I don't like
have trials. It's just, there's a lot of speculation going on right now, and it continues with more God of War, and it also continues with the PSVR 2, rumored to release in early 2023. So Scott Hayden over at Road to VR. Man, I didn't think it was going to miss the holiday season. It's kind of disappointing, I'm going to be honest, Brad, if that's the case. It's widely thought that PSVR 2, Sony's next-gen VR headset for PlayStation 5, is expected to release sometime the last half of 2022, which would position it as a pretty tempting gift for this holiday season. Now, a report from noted PSVR leaker PSVR Without Parole alleges the headset will launch instead in early 2023. YouTuber PSVR Without Parole is known for having accurately leaked some PSVR 2 specs ahead of the official announcement by Sony. Crap, Brad. I was really hoping for it this year, man. I really just want it now at this point, right? We are so outdated, I think is the right term to use for the original PlayStation VR, that it needs to catch up, right? And yeah, they're getting them. They're slowly starting to trickle out more and more information about it. We already know the specs. We saw what the controllers look like, which are awesome. Now we know what the headset looks like. It's funny how these things at the end of the day really don't matter, but we all clamor to see what, that next bit of shiny looks like or whatever it is. I just need it in my hands. My question is, do they have the library at launch, or is that why they're holding back? Because to me, I'm thinking that the headset is already done, right? I feel that they're already set, ready to go. They could probably launch it this holiday season if they wanted to, but they just don't have the library there to go with it. Maybe that's what's holding them back. Maybe they're waiting to have Horizon VR ready at launch, because that's a huge move if they can get Horizon there when the system launches that well, because it's gonna pull everybody in who's already played Horizon Forbidden West and they're loving that game. Dude, my whole Twitter feed right now is all Horizon Forbidden West photo mode shots, and it is incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy to see what people have been able to do with that. But that actually brings back to the point of God of War. Maybe they're doing God of War in summertime so that they can surprise the VR2 as a Christmas drop. I mean, you never know. Like, it's
sure.
You can't count Sony out. Like, when it's like you guys have said before. Like, and it's not have anything to do with Microsoft or Nintendo, but they launch something and then PlayStation launches something else, and it's like, didn't see that coming. And that's what Sony's known for, is a lot of those, wow, I didn't see that coming moments. So who knows?
They always have something up their sleeve, right? It's kind of what it is. They always have something to pull out of the bag of tricks to go, hey, don't forget we're over here as well. And that's why we're one of the biggest companies around in the gaming space, is because they always have something to kind of reveal. There's rumors this month too of a state of play happening. I'm curious to see what that holds.
Big one.
Well, yeah, a big one, right? So does that mean it's God of War Ragnarok, or is it PlayStation, or is it Spartacus? Like, we're all just kind of going, man, what is this thing going to be? Will they announce what they're going to showcase at the state of play? We don't know, but dude, it's going to be pretty exciting this year, I think, for the world of PlayStation. I think there's a lot in the works for PlayStation fans to be kind of pretty hyped up for. Biggest thing right now, obviously, is waiting on God of War and PlayStation VR 2 headset to kind of be released. But man, more details about that in the near future. Until then, Super Smash Bros. Won't be at EVO 2022 next month. This comes from Vicky over at gamesindustry.biz. Super Smash Bros. Will not be at this year's Evolution Championship Series, also known as EVO 2022 Championship. Dude, this one is shocking.
Head scratcher.
Isn't it? Like, what is Nintendo doing? And there's a couple things that's going on here. Quote, while we're thankful for amazing games joining us later this year in Las Vegas, we want to let you know in advance that Super Smash Bros. Will not be making a return appearance, end quote. The organization said in a statement published on social media. Quote, since 2007, we've seen historic Super Smash Bros. Moments created at EVO's events. We are saddened that Nintendo has chosen not to continue this legacy with us this year. In the future, we hope to once again celebrate the Super Smash Bros. Community alongside them, end quote. Take note, though, Brad, Nintendo partnered with Panda Global last year to establish an officially licensed circuit for Super Smash Bros. And Sony now owns EVO. Is there a conflict of interest here between the two parties?
There could be, or maybe Sony's gonna drop PlayStation Battle All Stars 2.
Dude, that'd be awesome. I'm down. I'm so down for that. I love that game. I thought it was so good.
It wasn't a bad game at all.
I liked it a lot, actually. I really had a great time playing that. Man, I played on my Vita and my PS3 at the time. It was fantastic. But it's surprising to see them pull out. Like, they've been there forever. Why would you miss one of the biggest opportunities around? Evo is massive. It is not a small community over there in the world of fighting games. Like, this is like probably one of the go-to tournaments around. So to back out here definitely kind of has me a little scratching my head, honestly. Like, Nintendo is definitely their own unique company, and they don't, you know what, Nintendo does what Nintendo does, and that's just,
Yeah, they don't play by anybody's rules.
No, when you think you
Nor
got them
should they have to.
well, yeah, you know what, when you think you got an idea what they're doing, they just nope, and they'll flip it around. But man, to back out on one of the biggest tournaments, right? Like, there's so many eyes on this tournament when it comes to the fighting scene. So to back out, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But either way,
there's obviously some deep reasoning why, but
well, yeah, right. Is it because Sony now owns Evo? I don't think that's the case. Sony's leaving it open to everybody, right? They just own the company now, but they're still running a broad tournament spectrum when it comes to the world of Evo. Like, that's not like Sony's going to come in and go, okay, now it's only PlayStation based. That wouldn't make any sense at all, and that'll never happen. It's just they wanted to kind of own a piece of that pie, and I think that's what they did. And they also saved Evo. Evo was a little bit of trouble there financially for a while as well. So this would kind of help them out and have them under that Sony brand. But is it really Nintendo partnering with Panda Global that changed things, and people over there like, okay, we're not going to be a part of Evo if we're going to do our own thing, right? They want to create their own circuit. We've seen a lot of people now create their own leagues. So is that what they're looking to do? And maybe if that's the case, then they can own all the mind share and, you know, do future announcements if we ever get another Super Smash Brothers. I don't know, another character. Like, who knows what's going to happen, right? Maybe that's what their thinking is. I don't know. But again, Nintendo, you never know what's going to happen with Nintendo.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we do know what's happening with the Tokyo Game Show in 2022, confirmed for mid-September. Will be a physical event. Comes from Michael over at PSU. The Tokyo Game Show organizers, CESA, Nikki and Dentsu, have announced that this year's show will be a physical event for the first time in 3 years. The TGS 2022 event will take place September 15th to the 18th and will take place, yep, it's back. That's the biggest thing. And it's still, the COVID is, policies are going to be there. There's a high risk. Brad, it's funny that you came on the show today, because I was like, this is perfect, man, because you have your own show and COVID has obviously slowed things down for you guys. Tokyo Game Show, same thing. E3, like, all physical events have suffered drastically. Is this something now that you guys are reconsidering of bringing back as well?
Well, we had announced the first show that we had to postpone in 2020, so we had to push it to the summer, and then we pushed it again, and then we canceled for 2020, and then we ended up doing one last year. Like, we got very lucky; it was in between, like, so the restrictions had lifted somewhat, and then like a week after we had done the show, they came back in. Now there's a lot of with a lot of the restrictions being lifted as of today, it definitely opens the door for communication on would we do another one. Personally, I don't think missing a year is a good thing, because you have all these other shows that are popping up, and like for some people a year might be like, oh, whatever, but a lot of people okay, well, they've been gone for a year, so there's other shows that I can go to now. You kind of want to stay relevant, and we've been bouncing ideas around on potentially not missing out on a year, but it's nothing concrete. But I mean, even if we could get some kind of Christmas show in, Christmas time is when people want to spend more money on family. So who knows? It's definitely something worth exploring.
It's nice to see some of those physical events are now going to be returning. They've all gone digital, and for one reason or another even got canceled, and the digital event just isn't quite working the way that the physical ones have been known to, right? And it's just that personal interaction, I think, goes a long way. And for us, I know we're looking at a couple shows this year. If those come back, that we'll be out there. So if you do see us at these events, definitely come say hi. But it's one of those things, like, will we get out there as well? COVID is obviously just something I think at this day and age we just have to live with, and, you know, be mindful of what's going on in the world, and it is what it is, and not much you can really do, right? You still got to live your life, and you want to be a part of these shows and have the fun that we used to have at the events. So I think if we can get back into the physical world of having these events return, get there in person and, you know, and talk to everybody. Man, I'm all down for it. So yeah, it'd be nice to come back. Brad, let's get into something I've been waiting to talk about for a long time, and we still don't know anything about it, but it's The Last of Us 2 multiplayer classes and armor data mined. We'll see. This is over at PlayStation Lifestyle. No modder and YouTuber Specializer has managed to data mine information pertaining to The Last of Us Part 2's multiplayer. Naughty Dog hasn't officially talked about the standalone experience yet, but assets left in the game's files, which may or may not be placeholders, give us an idea of what the developer has been toying with. Man, it's not much. I'm gonna be honest, Brad. There is not much going on here. It's got this like police vest, and it's got 3 tiers of like skins. So it's not really much to talk about here. It's just, I just want to talk about the multiplayer because I think it's awesome, and I can't wait for it to come out. We just need more details on it, right? So they give us just a couple different skins on this. It's something that Specializer was able to data mine within The Last of Us Part 2. Will we see this year? Like, is that kind of going to be at the state of play maybe this month?
Possible. Who knows? I mean, will we see at the state of play their new IP that they've been working on, or some kind of hint about it? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, man. But nobody knows anything. That's the biggest thing. We're just kind of waiting on pins and needles at this point for any information we can get on the multiplayer side. And yeah, Specializer was able to get in and see a little bit of the data mine information. And it's curious to see what the people are able to find within just kind of searching through the game files. It's crazy that people do that. I don't know how he does it, but it's definitely pretty cool to see that people are able to dig around, and maybe, you know, it kind of makes these companies, these studios, be a little bit more aware of where they hide information, because when it's out there, dude, you can't hide it, right? Someone is going to track it down, and sometimes it's unfortunate because we've seen some leaks with The Last of Us Part 2, and I was not happy about that. But Brad, we do have another topic I want to talk about before we get to the wrap up the show. Let's get into the Elden Ring creator feels apologetic to anyone frustrated by his games. Miyazaki, creator of the Soul series and Elden Ring, gave an interview with the New Yorker covering his inspirations, artistic goals, and such. He's got a quote here. I just got to paraphrase and get down to this thing. He basically apologized, Brad, is what was going on. Here it goes. I've never been a very skilled player. I die a lot. Miyazaki says, if death is to be more than a mark of failure, how do I give it meaning? How do I make death enjoyable? Dude, he apologized, came right out and said he apologized for those who get frustrated playing his game. Why? You shouldn't have to apologize, man. This is your game.
You know, what you're getting into when you buy this kind of game. Like, you don't buy Bloodborne or any of those types of games and then not play them because they're hard, and then say, oh well, Elden Ring's something different. It's a different game, but it's still a Souls game. You're still gonna die over and over and over. There's no reason to apologize. And if you're buying a game just because you want to be part of the hype, then are you a real gamer?
Well, yeah, you want to be part of that discussion, right? I get that.
But if you don't play it, it's one thing.
Well, that's just it, right? Like, you know what you're getting into. Like, I don't play Resident Evil because it's a horror game. I know that, so I'm not going to play it. But, you know, the Elden Ring, I tried. I gave it a shot. I got frustrated. Everybody gets frustrated, but that's a style of game, right? That's his art style, and it's just one of those things. You know what you're getting into. As a consumer, be mindful of what you're getting into. If you don't quite know what the game is, do some research. It doesn't hurt. And he has no reason to apologize. It's just a style, man. If people don't like it, then don't play it. It's that simple. Yeah. But Brad, we're almost at the end of the show, just like that, dude. Half hour flies. We have a couple games out today, though. What do we have?
Elex or Elex 2. It's on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, and PC. Far changing tides. PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, Switch, PC. Puzzle Quest 3 on the PC, iOS, and Android, and Shadow Warrior 3, which is actually a launch title on PlayStation Now, is on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
Yeah, that was an interesting move to come over to PlayStation Now, which kind of has us all speculating what the future of Spartacus is going to look like, right? That's the biggest thing. Brad, I want to thank you for joining us. Plug yourself. Where can people find you?
You can find me on all socials at Northern Nerdcast. Twitter, for whatever reason, is Northern Nerd CST.
Brad, thanks again for joining us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, and we'll figure out YouTube. Right now it's ITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca, podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. I'm Drew, that's Brad, and maybe Scott will be back tomorrow. We'll see if we unban him. Until then, we'll see you inside the game.